Hey everybody, and welcome back to the 7th episode of my Lumber Tycoon 2 Let's Play series called Vaulted. In the last episode of the series, I worked on the front of the vault here, and I enlisted Apton to help design it, and I think it turned out really well. However, now it is time for me to design some of the vault, as I need to design this whole interior area right here in this episode. Oh yeah, and then also, I'm gonna need to take this thing here, the security wing. I think I'm gonna have to, like, move it over by, like, a floor, like a few studs, and then mirror the design over here, which is not gonna be fun. So yeah, we've got a lot to do in this episode, but let's just get right into it with working on the entrance to the vault. Okay, so to start, I'm just gonna get rid of these smooth walls. And now I need the entrance area to be completely contained inside of these cherry wood things here. And I'm not a very good builder. I mean, I had Apton build basically all of the front of the base, so I'm not too sure what I'm gonna do. But I'm just gonna play it by ear and we'll see what looks good. I think for starters though, I do want the floor to be a different color wood than the front, maybe? Would walnut wood be acceptable here? I'm not really sure. Actually, why don't I try out counters? Yeah, wait a second. These birch counters actually don't look too bad as the floor. Now the question is, do I want the floor to be a little bit below the entrance or the same height as the entrance? If I put the floor to be lower than the entrance, that means it will have more depth, but if I put it at the same level, then it will be a lot easier to build other stuff. I think for now I'm gonna make it the same height as this, just because it's gonna be easier, but I can always lower it a little bit if I really think it's gonna improve the build. So I guess it's time to build some countertops. Man, I wish there was a better building system in this game. It's so annoying placing this counter. Okay, there we go. We've got all of the counters, and now we must fill them in. Boom, we are done with the floor. I think it actually looks pretty nice. I mean, there's probably a better way to make the floor look, but again, I'm not too experienced, but I think it's turning out well. Anyways, now we need to decide on how the walls are gonna look from the inside, because of course, on the outside here, we have the corrugation and the windows, but obviously, this wall here is not gonna have any windows. But I think we should copy the general design over of like the smooth wall stubs being this, I think it's pine wood, and then the birch here. Now, do I have any pine wood is the question. Maybe over here? Okay, this is definitely pine wood, and it looks like there is some here, which is nice. One trick that I always do with little pieces of wood here is I just stand in one position, grab the wood, and then jump and throw it at the same time. And sometimes it can get pretty far. Man, look at that piece. This piece basically made it all the way there. But anyways, now it is time to use more birch wood to make the walls. And I need to copy the design of this onto this somehow. Sorry if my building commentary isn't super interesting. I'm not a builder. I don't know how to do this. Someone should count actually how many times I say I'm not a builder, because it probably exceeds 50 by the end of this video. Okay, that's all the blueprints. Now it's time for the wood. And that's all filled in. Now I'm thinking I'm just gonna copy the exact same style here, except instead of the windows, I'm just gonna put like blank smooth walls. That way it just gives it a little texture overall. And maybe in the future I can put like some wire arts or something. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna need just a little more birch to finish this up, and I think this will be enough right here. Anyways, while that wood is chopping, let's just quickly go over my new-ish idea for how this thing is gonna work. You see, originally I had like this concept in mind where like you'd walk around, and I still want to do this. It's gonna be a little different. So when you initially walk into the vault here, there's going to be a little desk right here where the check-in officer will be, and then right behind the check-in desk is going to be a super secure little door that leads straight into the main like entrance room here. And in order to get to the entrance room as a normal civilian, you walk over here. I'll have like a little, the wall will indent itself a little bit here, so you walk in a little corridor, and then you turn this way. And then the guard will be able to come right here and check you in, and then you can just continue walking around, and the guard will meet you by walking through this way, walk over, see the person coming in, walk back, and then walk through here. And that's opposed to the original idea where the guard would walk in right here and the prisoner right here, and then they would just go through this little scanner thing. But I realized that that would be kind of inefficient because the guard would need to have two separate keycard terminals in order to check the prisoner in versus just one centralized secure door system, which is much less likely to fail. Sorry if that didn't make any sense. I promise it will later in the episode, but for now, let's just grab this birch wood. Okay guys, so for the ceiling, I'm gonna cap it off, I think here at where this is, where the where the pine wood is flush with the birch wood corrugated wall. I'm going to cap the ceiling off with some wedges and then have like an indented layer that goes a little higher where there can be a light in the future. So I think now is the good time to do the ceiling. So let's just grab some wedges and get going. Now, I'm not sure whether or not I should keep these things here, the smooth walls, because I feel like it does give a nice contrast, especially to the windows here. But if I keep them, I think I should also put them on this side too. And I don't know how that's gonna look. And then on top of the ceiling here, I can actually put some palm wood pieces just to add a little bit of contrast. Okay guys, so I've done a little bit of work here and I'm pretty happy with how this little area here has turned out. And like I was explaining earlier, basically there's just one entrance on this side and it will also be on that side. And it's basically just going to be a single door type thing. Okay, so we're going to have to get the alt account in here to glitch a few things into each other. But otherwise, I think we're pretty much done with the design here. Okay guys, now that the alt account has helped me glitch all of this into each other, I think it looks pretty nice, pretty streamlined. And I think I'm ready to copy the design over to this other side right here. So we have just copied the design, and as you see, it is looking pretty good if I do say so myself. Okay guys, so the only things left for this room now is the lighting, which I'll do at the end, or probably in a future episode when I work on the general logics for this whole place. And the front desk, of course, which we need to build right here, and I'm not too sure what the design of this should be. I'm just going to play it by ear and hope it looks okay. Afton has just messaged me back with a brand new desk design that I can build in my lobby area. So to start, I'm just going to tear out all of this stuff because it's really ugly. And now I'm going to get to work on the actual desk design, and all I have is some pictures to work off of here, so it's a little confusing, but I think I'll be able to handle it. And now in the design that RandomFlow sent me, all of the tiles here were walnut wood, but I'm not too sure if I want to bring in another wood type to the build, especially considering that this is just the entrance area, so I think I'm just going to go with palm wood and see how it looks. Man, this desk is so cool. You gotta love Afton's design skills. Like, who would have thought to use freaking countertops with sinks to do this? Like, what? But anyways, now that that's done, this whole main room here is completed, and all we need to do in this episode now is complete the side rooms right here. And this side room I've completed in the last episode, I think, but I didn't really like it that much, so I've been kind of taking it down, and now I need to rebuild it in like a little bit better way, if that makes sense. So what I think I'm going to do right now is build from scratch right here, and then copy the design over to this side using some of these blueprints in order to save some wood. And I'm really bad at like talking when I'm building stuff, so I'm just going to do a little cut to when we're finished. Here, I'll make the cut interesting too. I'll add like a little spin or something. Here, check this out. We're back. I just finished building both of the rooms here, as you can see. There's one on each side. They're completely identical. Inside, it's not too much. It's just you walk in here. You've got a nice little pathway here where you can go. And basically, if you don't know, the purpose of these rooms specifically is so that when you first check into the vault, you're let through into here. You can drop all of your items in a stand, which I will build. Probably in the next episode, I'll build like a little axe stand for you to put all your axes. And then you'll continue onwards once you're cleared. Okay guys, there's just one more thing that I would like to do in this episode, and that's going to be making a way that you can actually store your axes inside of these rooms. See, the point of this room is so that when the player comes in here, they drop all of their stuff before going into the vault, but how are they going to drop it if they don't have a nice place to store it? Wow, it's really dark in this room. I should get a light in here. As I was saying, the player is going to need a place to put all of their axes so that they feel safe coming into the vault, and I need to build that right here. But since it's kind of crowded in there, let's build it out here on this wall and then move it in there just so that you guys can better see my building process. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to need to do is have this axe shelf be at least 8 studs long like this. And then I think I want the axes to be curved slightly, so we're going to use some wedges like so. And now to keep the axes in place, I think we're going to need, maybe some tiles? Would that keep the axe in place? I don't think so. It's okay, we can just use these wedges instead. Actually, while we're at it, why don't we just push this whole thing into the wall? I think that would give it a cool look. Okay, I am liking the design so far, so now let's just put it inside of the wall. So first we gotta find the centerpiece, which I think is this. Perfect, so we can just get rid of this floor. And then here we can add our wedges in. I think they should probably be birch, or actually, no, I think they should be pine. And then we can replace our large floor right in the back like this. And now we need to install the actual guards here to hold the axes. And here we go, we've got a shelf. I mean, it's pretty basic. I removed the edge pieces just because I thought they were kind of in the way. But as you can see, you put your axes right on the shelf. If you just have one, put it like that. If you have multiple, you can just put them upright like this. And I'm wondering if maybe it would look better on the bottom here if these were replaced with the wedges also. So just like this, yes, I think this does look a bit better. Okay, this design is pretty much done. I really like how the floating shelf here looks really modern, really sleek. And now we just have to copy it onto the other side, so let's just do that real quick. And just like that, the shelf is done on this side too. But yes, that's pretty much all I had planned for this episode. Sorry for some of the long cuts and heavy montages. This episode was made on a bit of a time crunch actually, because I got back from a trip to Europe just a few days ago, and this video needs to go up on June 31st, so I gotta get going, you know? But anyways, I do hope you enjoyed. In the next episode, I have some big things planned because we need to construct the main room right here along with the laser array, which means we're gonna need to finally use the auto seller for once because we haven't really used it recently. And we're also gonna need to design the whole entrance room here, so that should be pretty fun. But yeah, we only got 5 episodes left after this, so make sure to stay tuned for all of them. Remember, they come out on the last day of every month. But yeah, we've got some very exciting episodes coming up as the vault is actually beginning to take shape. But for now, this is going to be it for me. Thank you for watching, and goodbye!